The hollow fly is a sparsely tied streamer pattern that still packs a punch. It's a perfect baitfish pattern for a range of saltwater and warm water species, and definitely worth having around as your favorite predators start to return to form. To start, tie in your thread behind the hook eye and start laying a base that goes about a third of the way down the shank. Leave your thread hanging off the end of this for now. 2 white hackle feathers are our first material. Measure them out so that they'll reach about 2 hook shanks in length from the tie-in point, and shorten them by pulling off the lower fibers and snipping the stem to size. Tie them in one at a time like so, with the side edges of the feather oriented vertically. Some pearl flash will add a bit of shimmer to this baitfish pattern. Pull 4 or 5 strands from your kit and tie them in at their midpoint just in front of where you added your last feathers. Fold the front-facing strands backward, taking care to arrange all of the fibers so that they spread around the shank, then make a few more wraps to secure. You may have to play with the flash a little bit to get it to sit where you want before you lock it down. Once you like where it is, snip it all back so that it doesn't extend past the already added tail. These thinner grizzly hackles will add more movement and contrast. Measure them so that they reach about where your white feathers do and prepare them in the same way, stripping and cutting to size. Tie them in above the flash and white hackle. At this point, I like to take a few wraps over all of these tie-ins so that there's mostly a white base around the shank. The head of this fly is fairly sparse, so I just try to make the body uniform since it will be somewhat visible. The fish probably don't care. Next, grab a healthy clump of your white bucktail, snip it off at the base, then cut the butt ends again to square them off even. With the tips facing forward, lay these fibers down on the shank just behind the hook eye. Take a few loose wraps to tie in, then massage the hair around the shank so that's distributed on all sides, with more concentration on the top and bottom. Go at the butt ends quickly with your scissors. This will avoid them sticking out of the finished product and help you reverse tie more easily. Once you're happy with the positioning, you can take tighter wraps to secure. We'll now form the head of this fly by bringing all of these front-facing fibers back. Using the top of a pen or an extra spool of thread, begin pushing your bucktail rearward on all sides of the shank at once. Hold them in position with your fingers and build a small thread dam behind the hook eye to help with this process. When your head is where you want it, you can also secure with a tiny bit of super glue around where the hair is already folded to hold it in place. Go to your whip finisher, make a few turns, and snip your thread. With the thread out of the way, I'll continue forming the head a bit and adding some eyes. As I lock the eyes on with UV resin, I'll squeeze the head tighter to thin out the front of the fly and splay out the bucktail. Adding a few more drops of resin on this area will keep that in place. You can compact the head much smaller than how I did in this example if you'd like. This is just how I like mine. With those finishing touches, the hollow fly is ready to fish. The reverse side bucktail will slim down nicely when wet, creating a sleek but durable profile accented by flash and the movement from our hackle. I love hovering these with some intermediate line, giving the fly long pauses and letting the materials do their work. Hope you put it to use soon, and thanks for watching.